O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down in the driver's seat and when I rise up through the gears. You discern my thoughts from a car. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Very warm welcome to this Thoughts from a Car on what is a cold and miserable middle of May. Flip's sake, welcome to Ireland. Oh, here we go. Will we get out in time? We will! Oh, there's red light. Anyway, a few random ramblings from me of how, really today we're going to talk about how we've gone through the looking glass. How everything is surreal and distorted and the reverse of what it should be. And I read an article, was it yesterday? Maybe a couple of days ago, about what seems to be my favourite subject, which is Mr. Trump's suing of the Inland Revenue Service in America for $10 billion. He sues everybody for $10 billion. Now he drops a lot of those, so they're all thrown out. But it's a big optics thing, isn't it? 10 billion. He must be in the right because he's suing for so much. Yeah, but he never actually goes through it. Anyway, he's suing the Inland Revenue Service, the IRS, for $10 billion for allowing his tax returns to be released. He didn't want them released, and you'll find out why. And somebody illegally released them and subsequently went to prison for that. Didn't receive a pardon from President Trump for some reason. But anyway, so these released tax records showed that over a 5-year period, was it, Donald Trump paid either very little tax, and by very little I mean something like $750 a year. A billionaire pays $750 a year, or he paid no tax whatsoever because he was making huge losses. The most successful businessman in the world making huge losses on a yearly basis. Or they paid him a refund because he'd overpaid tax on one particular year. This was to do with all the massive losses, balanced that out, and he was due a refund. So this was released. He didn't like it because it harmed his reputation. Yeah, didn't it just? And so he's suing the tax people in the government for $10 billion. Now, he's the president. The Department of Justice, which is part of his government, is suing another part of the government to facilitate the leader of the government with $10 billion. Now that'll come out of taxpayers' money. And now from what I read in the article, it's due to go to court in a couple of weeks. I mean, not a Donald Trump, couple of weeks.
You trust President Putin? You know, in about 2 weeks.
In your mind, is Ukraine doing enough to get this?
I'd rather tell you in about 2 weeks from now.
Do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. I think you're going to find some very interesting items coming to the forefront over the next 2 weeks. We've got the plan largely completed, and we'll be filing it over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to be having a news conference in about 2 weeks. I will make that decision, I would say, over the next 2 weeks. And I'll be making a big decision on the Paris Accord over the next 2 weeks.
At some point in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'm going to be setting the deal.
Over the next 2-3 weeks. In about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
You'll be hearing about it a lot more in the next 2 weeks. Maybe in 100 years from now, maybe in 2 weeks.
But an actual couple of weeks, literal 2 weeks or so, it's to go before a judge. Now, from what I read, the likelihood is, just like the Wall Street Journal $10 billion thing, it's likely to be thrown out at the first hurdle. Primarily for two reasons, from what I can gather. First is that it's outside a statute of limitations. I think you have to file some sort of complaint within 2 years, and this has been, 4 or 5 years maybe. So it'll fall on that, or it'll also fall because in any litigation sort of situation, you have to have two people in opposition, and this is really the current sitting president of the United States suing his own government. So it may fall on that. So what apparently is happening is the Department of Justice is negotiating frantically with the Inland Revenue Service for a settlement. Now, why would you organise a settlement? Normally, from what I understand in legal matters, you go for a settlement to avoid the expensive process of going to court. It means you don't get as much as you wanted, but you don't have to pay lawyers extortionate amounts of money over a prolonged period of time and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of people do settle out of court. You hear about people settling on the steps of the court. As they were going into court, they've decided to come to an agreement. But why are they frantically trying to get a settlement? It seems odd. If I were the Inland Revenue Service or whatever, I would just be sitting it out, knowing that some of the basics basic sort of standards for this lawsuit didn't apply. So you just sit it out, wait till the judge comes up, comes before the judge dismisses it. There you go. You have had to do fairly little in it. But why are they scrambling for a settlement? A settlement obviously means it doesn't go before a court. It's not thrown out by the judge, but it looks like he's won. And he gets taxpayers' money in this settlement. It'll not be 10 billion. Let's say it's 500 million or something. I don't know what it's going to be. It could be less than that. It could be significantly more. But in a settlement, he'll get money for something that would have been thrown out of court because it was baseless. Or it was baseless in legal terms, it was baseless. So this is why we're through the looking glass. This is why it's the most surreal, insane thing. This is why it's a cash grab and nothing but a cash grab. The whole presidency is simply a self-enrichment project. And yet, nobody seems to see it like that. They seem to think that he's some great patriot who's got America first. That's the principle that drives him. America first. Looking after the American people. He's looking after number one. And it's not we're number one, we're the USA. He's looking after number one, he's looking after himself. And this is the standard. This is the thing that they're building, these golden statues, these golden calves. Put them up for somebody who lives for self. That's the ideal that everybody is to be looking to. Look how successful he is. He's successful because he sues people and then they settle out of court. He's not successful at all. But this is just insanity. It is insanity. And everything he's doing is to enrich himself. And nobody, or very few, there's a significant minority of people in the US who don't see this as it is. They spin it in a different way. They think that he's something he's not. So anyway, I will be suing myself, in breaking news, I will be suing myself for 10 gazillion billion pounds. I hope to settle out of court with myself. I will be negotiating furiously with Mr. Henning, and I hope that we can reach some amicable settlement of, say, £4.52, and then that will vindicate me in my lawsuit. Anyway, that was a bit of a rambler. Well, it's supposed to be the ramblings of an idiot, so I shall see you hopefully when the weather is warmer. So look after yourselves. Remember to sue each other. Remember, it's all about self. That's what that's what I'm learning from the Trump administration. It's all about self. All about self, right? Anyway, rambling over. Have a good day. See you soon.